Everyone, welcome back. This is Krydax. Today we're going to be continuing our space exploration playthrough. In our last episode, we accomplished blue science, or chemical science as it's called. And in between episodes, I covered a little bit more of the world with concrete, continuing to try to be like the biters and cover the world. I also added another copper smelting line, which we're going to use for modules. And other than that, I think that's about all I've done. I think we might need to expand our power production soon. We're at about 34 out of our 43 megawatts used. Pretty easy to expand. I might even use solid fuel. Let's actually go ahead and use Helmod to see what solid fuel might look like. So I'm going to make a new line. I'm going to add a recipe, and I'm going to filter by ingredient and use crude oil. And this way we can see, okay, what happens if I use crude oil in crude oil processing, and we actually set our ingredient input, and let's say I want to use 100 crude oil per second. And now we can click on our products, and it will show us where those products can be used. So we can imagine, okay, what if I turn my petroleum into solid fuel, and I turn my light oil into solid fuel, and I turn my heavy oil into solid fuel, then we will get 7.5 solid fuel per second. And then we can also see what if I instead used heavy oil to get light oil, and then we can move our light oil down. We actually end up with quite a bit more solid fuel, 9.25. And the power usage is 6.5 megawatts versus this one is 4.8 megawatts. So it uses another a little bit less than 2 megawatts, but it produces an extra, what's that, over two more extra solid fuel per second. So that's more than going to pay for itself. And so we have to ask ourselves, is this the route we want to go? Because if we are currently producing processed fuel, then each coal is about 4.4 megawatts. So we can imagine how much crude oil would I need to match one coal. So I can divide this, 100 divided by 9.25, that would give me 1 solid fuel per second. And then I need a third of a solid fuel per second to match 1 coal, about. And we get this. So 3.61 crude oil is about equivalent to 1 coal in terms of the output power. And doesn't require too much processing in terms of buildings. Definitely more than the fuel processors, but at some point we might want to switch to solid fuel. So that was just a little showing off on what Helmod can do. It's a really, really handy thing to use ingredient inputs versus just the product input. And because then you can kind of work your way backwards and be like, if I start with this thing, how much can I get out of it with all the different processing ways? With certain mod packs, that becomes even more necessary, or maybe it will become even more necessary later in space exploration. I don't exactly know how complicated we're going to get here. So we have our copper here for modules, and then if we go back to our Helmod modules line, we will pin this, or we have to click on the block and then pin it. So we need quite a few factories for this. Oh wait, I'm sorry, this is the... Hold on. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, I thought it was the chemical science for a second. The numbers were very similar. So, I may... 65 assemblers. That's crazy. I may actually reduce this down. I don't know if I want to do a build this big for modules just yet. I may reduce it down to half, and then we can double it later. That's always easier, I think. We'll just make sure to leave space. So we'll change to 0.4 of everything. And that will be quite a bit easier to accomplish. And double it later. So we need 35, 2, and 2. Which we need the oil, but other than that, we've got everything. Need some more glass. I was looking ahead a bit on science, and I did notice that we're going to need to automate glass for when we... Is it for processing units? I've actually already forgotten. No, it was for something we use processing units in. I don't want to go through all 78 of those. I'm trying to remember. I was just looking at some of our researches, and there was something, I think it was as we go towards logistics. Let's find our logistics bots. Because I do want to get towards logistics bots soon. Oh, it was for the utility science. We need low density structure. And in low density structures, we need, here's the research, we need lots of glass. 10 glass for just one low density structure. So we're going to need to automate massive amounts of glass for that, along with copper, steel, and plastic. So utility science is very expensive. So we definitely want to get our modules going before then so that we can get more productivity as quickly as we can. Okay, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and begin our construction of this line. We also need to think about where we're going to place it. I could use this region here, but I think I want to leave this open for more smelting. We can easily fit another 3 to 4 smelting lines in there, another 2 in here. So I think I want to leave this open to the left on smelting, and I'll just expand up and out. So a little annoying because we have to run the copper all the way down. This is, you know, one of the arguments for a main bus that's expandable is like, well, if I had made this, you know, 16 belts wide, I could easily just attach this to the front and it would come out the back and I wouldn't need to figure out a way to maneuver it. But that's kind of the fun of spaghetti belts. So I think I'm going to run the copper up past this coal and to the left, and we'll build our modules up on top of everything here. And we'll leave this part to the left for more standard things like crafting, for example, miners, and we'll get blue belts over here eventually. But we'll go ahead and move this up. And we'll go over. We'll go next to this coal, like so. And then we will go across. Oh, of course. We needed to go a little higher. We'll do this, and then go across. And what I'll end up doing is probably I'll just add more oil processors on this line, and so I'll just leave a few squares of space here to move solid goods in between them, but then I'll just keep this line going up here for the next 2, which I'll need for these modules. And then I need a little bit of stone brick, not very much, just 2.1, so we'll run that next to the copper here. So we'll bring it up. And that should do it. And we'll get the plastic that we need from this oil here, and so we can start building. So I'll go ahead and get the oil processing, petroleum. And it's been a while, I think I might have mentioned this, I haven't actually played with the vanilla crude oil change yet, so I'm going to investigate if we ingredient input, we've got some fighters attacking. I'm gonna see where that is. Oh, okay, so our radars have uncovered some more space, so we're going to need to go on some biter killing pretty soon. Which should be easy. Again, plopping down turrets with fill for me with piercing ammo goes pretty fast. But what I wanted to check is if I use crude oil in the more advanced processing, does that end up getting me more petroleum overall? So we'll filter by ingredient, and this time we'll do the light oil focused one. This was, yeah, we can just delete that one, I guess. So let's investigate if I use ingredient input, 100 crude oil, And then we process the heavy into light, and we process the light into petrol, and then we end up with 86.67 petroleum. Whereas if I just go straight to petroleum, we get 90. So if all you need is petroleum, I guess the quickest way to do it is just go straight to petroleum. It's kind of the opposite of a lot of mod packs. And this one produces 70 and 30, but heavy oil gets reduced down by 4/3, so I'm imagining that's not as efficient. So it's interesting that the most efficient way is also the simplest way. Okay, we need 2 chemical plants. And we don't need the plastic till we get to the red circuit producers, of which we'll need 10 more. And we need 10. Okay. So we'll make the plastic and think about that later. And we'll use the coal that we were already busing over here. We'll just turn this up, go underground. As far as I remember, we have plenty of crude oil to handle all this. I think we were in the 200 and something per second, and this is only using 26. So I'm not worried about our crude oil consumption here. And these will be plastic. We will put coal into each of these, get that powered, and now we've got our plastic. We'll put a light. Okay, so we've got our plastic figured out. Now we need 1.4 making stone tablets, which I will do right at the front here. I guess we'll make it so that we can copy and paste this design, so I'll make it in as tight of a square as I can without spending hours reworking the design, but at least trying to make it nice. So we need stone tablets. And we'll just have the the stone come in like that. Easy enough. And we're going to be using 8.4, which means they can just go on a half belt. And that produces 6 per second. And that needs to get used alongside a full red belt of wire. So we'll have our wire go down just below this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see, no, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then all of these will produce copper wire. We'll use our underground strategy. I should probably just blueprint this whole design. Oh. Started one too late. That's fine. We will do this, and then we'll copy paste these. One more power pole, and that should do it. You know, I maybe should look into when do I get the yellow assemblers, because that will be nice, or at least they used to be yellow. Now they kind of look green. We'll need electric engine units, and that's actually it. We already have at least some advanced circuits, and concrete, and steel. So we really just need lubricant for that. A lot of complicated assembling things, but overall we have everything we need. Oh, we need production science packs, which use rails, electric furnaces, and productivity modules. So we're still a little ways from getting all that done. So we won't worry about that. Get our copper cables. You used to be able to cut, and if you only highlighted trees and rocks, it would deconstruct them, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And then we will place onto an underground belt. All of this will produce exactly 30, so we will fill up the entire belt. Each one is 3 per second. So we'll need to be careful that we're putting on both sides of the belt with exactly 5 assemblers. So I don't remember which side they put on by default, so I'll just make sure this one puts on the bottom, that one puts on the top. And then we'll copy paste that. And that should do it. So now we have a full red belt of copper cable. And then we have 5.6 of these, so 6. And they need, oh, you know what? I need probably 2 spaces here. And I'm going to want a beacon later, so we're going to leave 3 more. Because we're going to have the full belt of the copper cables. And then we are going to have the half belt of stone tablets. And you'll notice I made the ones that are the 90-degree turn the full belt because they're going to need to move faster. Because we need 4.5 input. And I don't know if one blue inserter could handle 4.5, but I know a 90-degree blue inserter definitely can handle 4.5. And then I need to leave space for the other inserters, which means we'll have to power from beneath. So we have those green circuits going. And I will just copy this design here. I have a feeling I'll be using this quite often. I never actually turned the inserters though, so that's something I would have noticed pretty soon. Fix these guys. There we go. Now they're all running. We've got our belt of cable. And we've got all our cable being inserted. So those green circuits are running now. And we can make red circuits in 10. So again, I'll leave space for the beacons. We're only going to need 4.81, so I can put these on the same belt and bring up the plastic. And I've run out of red belts, so I'll need to go grab some more of those, but we're almost done with modules, and that's beautiful because then we can start putting modules in everything, which is one of my favorite parts of the game, is running around and making your existing base more efficient. And it looks like we're not really... We built up some red circuits, but we're too busy making blue signs because this is an exact ratio. So we'll definitely be able to build up lots of red circuits from this build because once, you know, modules don't get used consistently until you have... I guess the productivity modules get used in some research, but the other two, once I've placed all the ones I need, I won't need anymore. Okay, so this will be beacons. And then I'll need 2 spaces for my red belts. I guess I can go alongside this one, the start of my line. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Although this time it's maybe not the exact same configuration, but I'm going to place the red circuits onto this belt. So we actually needed one more square. So we will go underground, and then we'll have 2 there. We will insert there, insert there. And I don't have enough space for inserters outputting. What did I do for these ones? For some reason, I felt like I was doing the same thing. Oh no, I did have an extra space here. Okay. Yeah, because if I'm inputting off of 2 belts and outputting onto a belt, I need 3 spaces. So we'll just move this up by 1. I can't think of any way to fit that in there. At least not without getting fancy. But let's try it. You know, I think it's actually not that fancy. I can just do this. And then I can insert with that one at a long inserter, 90 degree, and then I can place with this 90 degree onto the top side of this belt. Like that. And then that one will go in, and so will this one. I don't need that inserter. Oh, and that will give us room for power poles. That's why I needed to do that. So that one's going in. This one was outputting, just trying to be symmetrical here, onto the top side of the belt. In this case, they both need to be the top side. And then this one is also inputting like that. And then we use our red circuit assemblers. And we will just copy paste that. So that's 4, 6, 8, 10. And we can take out, I think, some of these power poles. And there we have it. Red circuits. And then we need our red circuits and green circuits. So maybe that would have been an argument for configuring these differently. I'll have my green circuits come up here. And my red circuits will meet up with them, like so. And then we need 2 of each assembler, creating modules. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't quite fit 6. So we'll go out to the side here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guess I need to do something more like this. And then I can put both of them in from the same side. And I will prioritize productivity modules, and then speed modules, and then efficiency modules. And we will just go ahead and put those directly into a chest, which will be limited to 1 stack for now. I will do 2 stacks. Put the poles on the top so they cover up less. Okay, beautiful. And these stack to... It actually doesn't tell me the stack size. Interesting. On the debug. I guess we'll wait to find out, but I think it's 100. Okay, modules are automated. That's awesome. We can increase our speed, increase our efficiency. This will help a lot with power usage on some of the more power-hungry buildings, and one of the things I'll do is I'll go and put these on every single mining drill that I have. And that will help for sure. Okay. I was under the impression 1 stone tablet maker would be enough. Did I just not even check to see if that's true. Yeah, we need 1.4. Okay. I will have to change this design a little bit. Put another one here. And just jam this in. Kind of act like we meant to do this all along, right? I think that'll do it. Put that on the close side so that they only use one side of the belt. Not that it matters in this case. But I think that'll fix it. It looks like they stacked to 50. So we'll go to 200. At least for these tier 1 modules, they don't take a ton of resources. So 200 is not all that many. And since they craft slow, we'll need that. So we could just copy paste this entire design, and all we would need to input is a little bit more plastic and obviously the copper and stone. But we could just make more modules if we need to. So definitely didn't use my space super efficiently. I think I could probably stuff these 6 module assemblers in this region somehow. Should I try to do that? I don't know. I don't know if you guys find that sort of thing interesting. Would you prefer that I actually try to redo this and get it to fit in here and do the belt spaghetti and use my space more efficiently? Or would you rather see me just move on? Because space is infinite in Factorio, so it's not like we're going to run out. So let me know in the comments what you prefer. We will check modules off of our list. And I do want to work on getting some processing units going, even if it's a very slow rate, because then we can start getting some exoskeletons, which I have on the list, and better oil processing is on the list, because we'll need to make lubricant for electric engines, to make robots, and all sorts of other things. So let's check our research here. Core mining, we could go ahead and start, though I don't know how important it is. Crushed vulcanite, washed vulcanite. And vulcanite is what gives me better efficiency. So we get 50, it looks like we go 8 iron ore to 12 iron plate, so that's 50% more productivity, which is actually a huge deal. From 1 vulcanite block, which comes from 1 washed, which comes from 1 crushed, which comes from 2 vulcanite. So we actually, unlike stone, it goes 2 regular ore goes to 1 crushed. And that ore comes from core fragments. I don't think we're going to get vulcanite core fragments. I think we would probably just get regular core fragments, which give me a very small amount of vulcanite. So, I mean, there are some minor productivity gains to be had there, but nothing too crazy. I think I will probably grab a couple of stacks of these to get at least my science, especially my blue science, with more productivity and speed. And it looks like we end up with an extra 10% crafting speed and an extra 4% productivity by doing that. So the usage is slightly higher, so I may end up running out of inputs, but by doing this we'll end up with some free blue science packs, which will save me a lot of resources in the long run. And you can see my copy paste modules mod coming in handy there. I can just copy them all in and I don't have to place them in every single building individually. I find that to be very tedious. But we do need to be using our science, so let's see. We might as well go with modular armor. We'll need fuel refining. I did some more quality of life mods. I don't remember if I mentioned that. We'll go ahead and get fast miniloaders researched. I will want laser turrets at some point. I'm not dealing with too many biters right now. And I'll want to get these meteor defense installation ammo, because these ones can fire on the whole planet. So we don't have to worry about just defending small areas. We can defend the whole planet at once with maybe, I don't know, 5, 10 of these, something like that. But I don't feel the need for that right now. So we'll get advanced oil processing going. Substations, I'll want to build some of. And then heat shielding is extremely expensive. Wow, 20 stone tablets for 1 heat shielding, along with 2 steel and 8 sulfur. But we need heat shielding for, looks like just our regular electric furnaces. So we'll go ahead and get that research going. And then there is a recycling facility, which allows you to recycle various items, medium poles, big poles, landfill. Oh no, we can make landfill from recycling random ores, looks like. I don't think I'll need that very often, but once we get into space, we'll need to do the research just because. And then I'll need a research lubricant soon. So processing units is the next thing I want to take a look at here, which I'll need to research as well. But they only need some sulfuric acid. So we'll go ahead and take a look at Helmod. And let's see. First I want to see how much module 2s need. So if I type in 2, there we go. Productivity module 2. You only need 1 processing unit per productivity module 2, and then 5 processing units per 3. So we'll probably want 1 per second to send to modules, and maybe 1 per second for various usage, and then how much will I need for utility science? Utility science. Slightly, so we'll need 0.6 per utility science pack. So yeah, if I produce 2 per second, that'll give me enough to send some to modules, send some to science, and then have 0.4 per second to keep for myself for constructing random things. Which, again, not a crazy amount of build, but enough for now. So we will get processing unit. Oh, we have 2 recipes. Looks like if we can get holmium cables, we get a much cheaper recipe that uses half of the electronic circuits, advanced circuits, and sulfuric acid. So I don't think I'll get those for a while though. So we want 2 per second. Oh my goodness. We just keep seeing how expensive our desires really are. I don't know if I'm actually going to settle for 2 per second then. I might just go for half per second. This is extremely expensive. For 2 processing units per second, we would need 80 copper. I don't think we can handle that. We could handle the rest of things, though. We could get 24 stone per second. And 10 sulfuric acid is fairly cheap, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just 1 sulfur, 0.2 iron. That's basically free. But the real cost here is the copper. Wow. So we need 40 copper to 1 processing unit. Obviously, we'll be putting productivity modules into all these, so maybe I should look into beacons first and see how close I am to beacons. Looks like we won't get any until we get to production science packs, but the actual cost to build a beacon is not that much. And yeah, so once we get the heat shielding going, and we'll need to get railways going, actually, then we can think towards those production science packs. But I think I will reduce this by quite a lot. We'll go to 0.5 and see if this looks more reasonable. So this needs 20. I think I'll set it up this way so that I can use up to 20. And again, I'll try to set it up in such a way that I can copy paste it pretty easily in blocks. So this one I will put a little bit of effort into making it as small as possible. I meant to pin that. And I think I have an extra red circuit there. So 20, 2 plastic. Yeah, and the 2 plastic, just for sake of argument, we'll put these in here. We need about 1 of each processing. Okay, so the sulfur, we will want, put some light in here. So I think we can probably use the sulfur that we're not using in blue science to create sulfuric acid. We need such a small amount of it. So we just need to bring iron over. Where's the nearest place I can grab iron from? I think down here. I don't think I'm bringing iron anywhere else. So we can bring it up from the right. And we can make sulfuric acid right here off of this sulfur. And we'll need some water, so we'll do something like that. Chances are I put it on the wrong side. Oh, I guess you only need one liquid. And then we'll put sulfur in. And, you know, I might just hand feed some iron into a chest until we can get logistics. Doesn't really make sense to bust it over when you only need, you know, 1 iron for 50 sulfuric acid. If I just take all the iron I can hold, which is not very much right now, but if I put that in a chest, that'll last me for quite a while. So eventually we'll get logistic spots and won't need to worry about that. So we'll make sulfuric acid that way. I can even make that more productive. So that instead of getting 50, I get 54. There we go. Free sulfuric acid. And it looks like 1 productivity module cancels out with, or 2 productivity modules cancels out with a speed module. So that works out nicely. And so we can check that off the list. We'll worry about the plastic later. And I'm trying to think, I almost need this design just to be copy-pasted again. But we also need the greens in a much different ratio. So you can see we actually have an equal amount of green and red science producers and almost an equal amount of processing units. So I might play around with if there's a way we can just go direct 1, 2, 3 and just have equal numbers of everything. I'll have a few too many assemblers producing the blue chips, but to have a really nice clean design, I'm willing to pay that price. So we'll want 3 spaces with room for beacons in between. So I'm thinking something like this. Because then when you copy and paste that, there's room for beacons in between. And something I do know about space exploration is that if we look at beacons, you see it says 8 module slots and transmits the effect to nearby friendly entities within 3 tiles, but multiple beacons affecting the same entity will overload it. So unlike the vanilla game where you want a full line of beacons, in space exploration, you just have 1 beacon affecting each assembler. Because if you have more than 1 beacon affecting an assembler, it doesn't even work properly. So I can use, you know, some space within this design, because a beacon here, for example, I think would affect all of these. And then I wouldn't need another beacon until the next 4, like that. So we don't have to worry too much. We don't have to leave an entire row open for that. So let's just imagine this is crafting the green circuits. I have a lot of new things. Oh yeah, I researched circuits, landfill. I did research the car. At some point I'm going to need to get in a car to go take care of those biters so I don't have to walk 10 miles. And I will create module armor. Oh, but not in here. So we want this to be green circuits. And then we will want these to be red circuits. And then we'll want these to be blue circuits. Which I still haven't researched. I never got around to that, did I? It'll be done soon, though. Just getting started with it. So we will need cable and stone tablets. Then we'll need cable and plastic. I'm actually thinking about an even more different design. What if I had something like this? Two, three, and then something like this. And these were both blue. And I need both red and blue into each of these. So if I turn that one and turn this one, now I'm inputting both red and green into each blue directly from the producer. And then this red can be taken from this green. Problem here is I don't leave myself space for beacons, but I can put beacons on the top and bottom, because then I'm not sandwiching. And it looked like the basic beacon only takes 200 kilowatts, so there's not going to be a huge need. Yeah, only 200 kilowatts. So there's not a huge need to keep my beacon numbers low, because they don't take a massive amount of power. They still take a lot, but I'd rather have a nice design. So then this will need... We'll need the cables coming by. I think we'll do the cables coming by like this again. And then we need plastic and stone tablets on this line, which we'll go ahead and do the same idea. Of course, I've run out of undergrounds. So we can do that, and that will get us the plastic and stone tablets. And then, yeah, I think that works. Because then the green is getting its copper cable and stone tablets from here. The red is getting its copper cable and plastic from here and here. And the green circuits are being directly inserted. And then these blue module buildings, which I can finally select, will be getting both green and red circuits from here and here. And because I'm not going to be putting the, what are they called? Beacons in between, I can sandwich this closer. I might actually just make them one tile apart, like this. And we'll put the green circuits in. We'll put the green circuits into that one. We'll put the red circuits into that one. And then green in and red in. And then power pole. And I think that will do it. And then we'll connect these up to sulfuric acid. And then we need to power these. Like that. And I think that'll work. We'll see how it goes. Let's go grab some more belts. And we'll need to make some more plastic. Oh, I do not need more belts. I still have 500. I need more underground belts, though. And then we'll get rid of our old yellows. Get rid of our yellow splitters. Refill on red splitters. Refill on fast inserters and on assemblers. I'll want to put productivity in all these gears for the red belts. That way I'll use less iron. But right now my power is still a little strained, so I don't want to put too many modules in right now until I can improve my power generation. So, I think this design is going to work. And then overall this will produce, if we go back to Helmod, we can do assembler limitation. And if I just say one assembler producing red, then it shows me all the ratios. Oh, I don't need two. Right, I've doubled down here. I only need one assembling the blue chips. So that'll make the design even easier. But we will need two producing copper cable for each of these sets. But I do only need one of these. So I'll actually just put it here. And That makes this design a little bit less efficient. I was so proud of it, but it's not really even necessary anymore. I need some inventory space. I guess I can just lay down some concrete. We'll get a little path going up here past our oil. I do like to have straight lines when possible. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Straight lines. Perfect. Okay. So, now if this is blue chips, then we will put red chips in, green chips into red chips, and green chips into blue chips. And then we can put that there. And then I will be able to actually fit beacons in between as I tile these. I did not mean to hit cut. I meant to copy. Copy and cut are one letter apart, but we can fit beacons into the empty spaces there. So it's not a super efficient use of space, but unfortunately I need more than one copper cable assembler, so it's not like I can fit that in there anyway. But it does look like we will need... I'm going to take off my assembler limitation. It didn't actually change it in the pen. I wonder why that is. Maybe I have to erase that. And then, does the pen work? It does not. Seem to have messed something up. Maybe if I put 8 there, then it'll be happy. There we go. Okay, so we need close to 2. 2 of each of these. So if I have 1, 1, 1, and then 2. So I would need 2 copper cables. And I may just do this. And put copper cables directly in. Can I get substations yet? I would need substations to power that. Substation. I've researched it and I have everything I need, so I'll just make some substations. Because then, well, I do need to double check the rates here. Because one of these needs 4.5 per second, which I don't think that can handle. But I can make stack inserters. Their stack size is 4, which can handle 4.5 per second. So we'll make some stack inserters. And we'll use those. And I honestly think I only need 1. This is only 0.5, so I can use a regular inserter there. And then this can be my plastic and stone tablet line. And my copper line will be down here. Like this. And then I can put beacons in the empty spots between the blue chips to beacon all this, and I can put beacons down here below to beacon my assembling machines producing copper cables. And I actually might want to do it so that beacons 1, 2. That's perfect, because then a beacon here would beacon these and these. So I'm actually at the right height here. Although I guess I have 2 extra spaces. I don't need those spaces, but we'll leave some empty space in case I want to bust some items through here later. So I actually like this design quite a lot. I think it'll work, and then I can just copy it ad nauseum to the left here. And I need substations. So 2 will be enough for now. I need more steel plates on hand, but we can place 1 as far to the left as I can, and then another one, and that should do it. So now all I need is to bust my copper up here, which I'm not using all my copper for the modules, so I'll just use the same line of copper, and it'll be overly taxed a lot of the time, but once I get blue belts, that'll be at least partially solved. We'll worry about more copper later. And then we need stone tablets, which I only really need 2 producing stone tablets, which I can just do right here. I'll have to skip over a line again with my oil. That's fine. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll get 2 assemblers making tablets. We'll leave space for oil stuff on the right. So we'll put them right here. Yeah, that works. We can go over both. In that one, and in this one. Power those up. Stone tablets. And then we will put on the far side of the belt for both of them. More meteors. Close to my iron mine that time. And stone tablets. There we go. Okay, so we're making everything we need to make. Set this guy's backwards. There we go. Now we just need to bring in the plastic. Ah, shoot. Oh, I don't even need that one. So we can just do this. So the plastic will come in on the top of that belt. So we'll go ahead and just put 2 more of the oil refineries. Gotta craft them. Don't have enough steel, I think is what I'm missing. I'll need to do an inventory cleanup of some sort. But let's grab some more steel. I've got glass. We'll grab 3 stacks, and iron, I have 3 stacks. That's a fuel refinery, so we need 2 oil refineries and 2 chemical plants. And we'll just keep bringing this coal up. There's really no reason not to connect these, because none of them are going to use petroleum too fast for their own sections. So if I connect up all the petroleum, I probably have 2 or 3 extra oil refineries compared to what I need. So what we'll do is we'll actually just, let's see if we can continue on the same line. Like that. Put that on the... Oh, actually, that's wrong. It's very wrong. That will mess up my circuits. Who knows if I got there yet? Nope, there's the plastic. Okay. So, now that we have way too much plastic in our inventory, let's try to get rid of some of that. Then we need to split this like that. And we can place this from the side. We want to place it on the same side. Because that's still 15 per second. I don't think these produce 15. They only produce 8. So I don't have to worry about both sides of the belt. And we wanted this all to be on the top side. It's always on the wrong side, isn't it? I might just change stone to be on the other side, so I don't have to do anything there. And now everything's running full tilt, and we just need to pipe up my sulfuric acid, which is right here. So I think we'll go like this. There we go. And attach it up, and that should be good to go. I did not attach my oil refineries here. There we go. And attach up my crude oil. Okay, now those are firing on all cylinders, so I should have more than enough petroleum between those four. And we just need our sulfuric acid. And there we have it. Sulfuric acid. And our blue chips are running. A single one only produces 4.5 per minute. So I will go ahead and copy paste this. So the beacons will go in between like that, and that will handle. Let me kind of check if it'll get both sides. Because if I put a beacon here, and it can go 3 squares, 1, 2, 3, it will get 2 sides. So then I'd want to output from the sides like this, because I will have space. And then we'll run a belt. Do I go forwards or backwards? Probably forwards, because I want to run it down by the modules. So we'll go forwards like that. Deconstruct all these trees. And then go ahead and bust them down to there. And I think I will start accumulating them into a chest with some output priority to the left. They stack to 100, so we'll limit ourselves to 1,000. Should be enough. And I need to copy this part of the design as well. Oh. You know, I knew I was doing something wrong. I think I may have goofed. Because I need... So if I reduce all this down, assembler limitation to 1... Or I guess one of the other ones. So the one making green needs 4.5, and the one making red needs 0.5 of the cable. Which means one of these is not enough to keep the green going. Shoot. So I need to somehow get this into the green one. But we don't have enough space here. I don't know if there's any way to do this without expanding the whole design one tile. Which is unfortunate. I was very happy with how this had all gone. But I have an idea. It's a little strange. But what I'm going to try is I'm going to try moving this to there. Move this down one tile. And then we will have another stack assembler going diagonally, like so. And then we will feed, maybe this actually needs to be 1 square further. We'll feed this one with that, 1.5 per second. And then we'll feed the one on the right at a weird angle, picking up from here, dropping there, like that. Okay, I actually think that works fine. It's a little awkward, but I'll take it. So then these... Of course, my inventory is full again. And tablets. There we go. Okay. So then I can copy paste this. Or cut. Because that's what I always seem to do. Oh. Okay. We need this to not take up as much space as it does. Yet again, I run into an issue. Is there any way to do this? I don't think there is. Because I need 2 squares for the undergrounds and 2 inserters, which is going to require 4 squares, but I only have 3 squares of space down here. Because the next assembler would need to go there. I guess I could mirror them like that and have a set of 4. And then this one would input like that. And then this can not quite reach, so this would actually need to go like so that it can get to the next equivalent space. Well, no, this would be like that. So I actually maybe need to do this, and then... Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Because this would need to be all the way at the bottom. So then it would be coming out like that. Maybe I can do that. Nope. Well, I will continue playing with this design until it works. We're going to get this. So, I think since we can't tile them like that, I might just settle for having this 1 square down. I don't love it. Makes the whole thing 1 tile taller, which is kind of the whole thing I was trying to avoid in the first place. But I can't think of any way to fix it. So if you have any bright ideas in the comments, let me know. But for now, we'll just settle with that. And of course, my substation is in the way now. But it works, I think. Oh, right, I need to extend these to grab farther. And then these are backwards. Okay. That's got circuits, that's got circuits. Okay, there we go. So we're back to running. Alright, and then we will copy this one more time to... I guess I need to copy... There we go. And paste. And that should do it. And this will produce up to 0.3 per second, which is 18 a minute. Which I'll settle for that right now. That'll at least get processing units automated, and that will help us. I need to get rid of some copper. I'm just gonna place copper manually into all these. Okay. Awesome. All right, well, that took longer than expected. Thanks for being patient. If you have any good ideas for how to fix this, let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Kind of looks like Christmas right now. But I'm going to end the episode there, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.